my name is Deborah.
Hi, everyone, and I'm Deanna.
Today, we're here to tell you some more stories, some real life. We're going to give you real life examples of how we work individually and together on creating the lives that we want by changing our thoughts. And by doing that, we change our beliefs and we create the reality that we want, or the realities that we want. And
the point that I want to make is that I've been to a lot of retreats. I've read a lot of self-help books. I've looked at getting certifications. I've been to school, but it's the life experiences that I learn from, and that I have this toolbox full of tools that I've learned at the retreats, that I've learned at the courses and the self-help books that I've taken, and all the meditations that I'm doing, and my lifestyle completely changing. And it's actually the practicality of everything that you're learning, all the tools that you've learned up to this point that you use on a daily basis, and they're right there in your toolbox. So, when you have an issue at home, and you need a tool. So what do? You go out to the toolbox and you get the tool and you bring it in and it fixes it. And there's a tool for everything.
Right.
And so it's really, we're going to show you in real time, because we're going to talk about some experiences that we've had and the epiphanies that we both had this morning.
Well, and two, I want to say that you said, just before we started recording, that it's been over 40 years since you have been doing the work. Okay. So I have this thing going off right here, because it's been the same amount of time. Okay. So your real awakening started happening after your son was born.
Correct.
Okay. Was it when you were pregnant or after he was born?
After he was born.
Okay. After he was born. And at the same time that Deanna was giving birth to her son, I was going through a divorce.
Wow.
And then led to a complete and total breakdown because of that divorce and my lifestyle at that time.
Correct, because it was unhealthy lifestyle.
Very unhealthy lifestyle. I was in my early 20s. I was invincible. I was working 18 hours a day and not eating well enough. And I was living on caffeine and nicotine, and recreational cocaine. That's what we did in the 80s. And so
and cannabis.
Had a complete and total breakdown. So for me, I had to go to the shell, the total shell. There was nothing left. I had no thoughts. I had no feelings, nothing. And I had to rebuild all of that. And I did it all without medication.
Yes.
And so
that's a big theme.
What's the theme?
Is without doing it, like having the tools and really learning the tools that you did at that point in order to do it without medication.
Yes.
Because people just want to take a pill. Right?
Yeah,
they all just want to take a pill and have it fix it. But it doesn't work that way.
No, because you don't want to be on that medication for the rest of your life.
And that's the trap. That's the trap that
trap.
Segi was talking about the other day, in that, we want the reward without doing the work.
Right.
And, and I want to compare it to the Rory McIlroy story. I mean, he worked hard for 3,889 days to win the Masters in 2025. He had been playing the Masters for that long, and all of his hard work, his diligence, and you should have seen his reaction when he actually did win the Masters in 2025
and 2026.
And he was only the fourth person to win back-to-back Masters in the history of the Masters.
Oh my gosh.
And so the whole thing is that you have to work for it.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Because you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it.
No.
If it's given to you, and it's like, oh my gosh. And that leads me to the other theme too. But go ahead.
So when you were talking about doing the retreats, and so one of the things that I want to bring up about that is that when we do a retreat, when you're there, the energy is flowing. You're going to you're going to change. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And then you go back into your real life and you can carry that energy for a little while.
Yeah.
But it's the doing the work every day and continuing the work afterwards that we get so busy in our daily lives,
and
right?
distracted,
major distractions.
And that's intentional.
And so we have to stay
in our power.
In our power.
In our hearts.
That's right.
Yes.
And
we have to stay in our power. We have to stay in our hearts, because that's what happened at the Joe Dispenza retreats, that, we were in our power. And so the epiphany that both Deborah and I had this morning is what we just had. The third teacher, we just finished with she actually, we were in a business relationship with these 3 women, and the third woman that was the most recent. And we realized that, we're not going to be in a relationship with another individual or another business that it's not an equal two-way street. It's not an equal give and take. And that because I've compromised my own well-being, my mind, body, spirit alignment my whole life, and I'm not willing to do it anymore.
Right. And so that's a huge shift. And it has taken 40 years,
yes.
Specifically, though, we've been doing the Joe Dispenza work, which is the tools that we gained from working with Joe Dispenza, doing his workshops, reading his books, listening to his books, practicing the meditations every day. And so that has been 3 years. And so it's almost like, I don't know how many days that is, 900, 1,000, 1,100 days that we've been doing this, right?
Yes.
And so
yes, every day.
What's great about the epiphanies is that it happens in stages.
Yes.
And so you reach one level and you're like, you get this little hint, and, that's almost like that's the reward.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get that little teeny epiphany, and then you keep doing the work. And you don't let anything get in the way of the work. And so for me, it's best for me to do it first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm adding in another layer of work that I want to do on a daily basis. And that is the new physical work that I'm doing with the functional patterns and the myofascial release on my own.
Daily.
So as soon as I finish with my meditation, I'm going to do my lemon water in the morning, and then I'm going to do my workout. And I'm going to start with 10 minutes in my workout.
Good.
And I know that 10 minutes is going to lead to like 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you say 10 minutes.
But if I say 10 minutes, then I said
it's achievable.
It's so doable.
So doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not setting yourself up for failure.
Right. And so what I like to do is that I give myself time. I'm going to say, I don't give it a day. Like, I'm not putting that pressure on myself that I have to start this by tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. So
I'm planting the seed.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do. And I may wake up tomorrow morning and just do it.
And decide this is the day.
Yeah. And because I've been planting the seed and taking some action.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped working with my trainer because I want to rely on myself. Okay. And that's what the whole self-empowerment is.
Yes.
That we can't look for any answers or get any answers from out there.
Or help, or if you come from.
It has to be from within.
Right in here.
Okay. And how many people out there are selling something?
Oh, everyone.
Yes. And how many people on YouTube are talking about these techniques and the tools that they've learned, or, any tools and techniques that they've learned, or, talking about the subconscious mind and being, our higher self, and, and just giving you all of the information. It's just like an overload of information. And you don't even, it's almost like, when you go into a grocery store and you're like, I'm starving, but I don't know what I want. If you have to know what you want before you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
and then
Amen.
When you know what you want, then you set your intention that this is what I'm going to do, and then the intention is the energy behind it. So how have you
the emotion?
Yeah, how have you set intentions lately? Can you think of an example?
Oh, how have I set intentions lately? Well, for me for one of the intentions that I've set, one of the seeds that I've planted is that I too am going to get on a good physical weekly routine. And that for me is playing pickleball. and also working out with a trainer, or working out in classes so that I just do weight training 2 to 3 times a
Okay,
week.
so it's the physical thing. So
it's the physical
what's
thing.
interesting is that this is the first time I'm hearing this. And this is what I love about our twinship is that we go through these shifts at the same time.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, you've been
but
talking
it's-
about doing more at home.
Yes, I've been talking
And I've
about
been
it.
doing a little bit more at home.
Yeah.
But now I want to I want to be able to go somewhere.
Well, you're doing the opposite of what I'm doing because I was working with a trainer and now I just want to do my home. And you've been doing it at home. Now you want to work with a trainer.
Yes.
And because we don't discuss it and it just happens naturally. So, that brings me to doing the work with someone else.
Well, you're going to attract it. You're going to attract people that are doing the same work.
This work of changing your thoughts and creating your reality so that you're thriving and not surviving. And you brought up one of the hard parts in the beginning where you have to be ready for the truth.
Oh,
Okay? Because the truth hurts.
oh yeah. People are just so resistant to it because it's
it's shocking because you talked about, did we talk about it? Was it off air that you talked about the first time that
we just talked about it earlier, but yes, and that I had a shadow side.
Yeah.
And then I realized in the moment, oh my God, everyone has a shadow side.
Everyone does.
Everyone does.
Everyone. Every single person.
And it was my first realization. The other realization that I had was recently. It was in 2016 when I had a mentor ask me. I told her about a situation at work at the business that I owned, and she said, "Are you being a victim?" And I thought for a minute, and I thought, I don't even know what that means. What does being a victim mean? What does that look like? What is that, and I had been allowing a certain employee to treat me in a way that was so disrespectful. And that she was literally emotionally and behind my back, verbally, being abusive. And energetically.
So passive aggressive.
And I had been allowing that. And so as soon as this mentor said this to me, I contemplated it for 2 days. And then I finally talked to this person. I said, no, you can't be in my space if you are going to be acting that way towards me.
Right.
Or towards anybody else.
So it's about taking charge of your own energy, your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own words. We were just talking to one of our producers before we came in here. There's a lot of construction going on. Wonderful. They're renovating the building and they're doing so much to upgrade the building. He's been here a while. They're not communicating with him about the noise level. And because this is it's a business that relies on soundproofing, right?
Yes.
And so he mentioned that he's been texting them. He doesn't get any response, but they're listening because there are returning things that are his. Or anyway, we have to take charge. So we suggested to Scott to call them directly
and speak to a person. Because texting, and I won't have a texting relationship with anybody.
Right, but this is about taking charge. So that's what you do.
Taking charge.
Everybody else does the texting, so you're going to be
I'm not going to do it.
Okay, you're going to call them up.
Yep.
And Scott, you're going to tell them.
Yes,
because you've been a tenant here for how many years? 8 years?
8 years.
Okay. So you get to direct them. Okay. They don't get to direct you. But if he just sits here and doesn't do anything and allows it to happen,
then he's just being the victim.
He's being a victim and it
doesn't even realize that.
No.
Yeah.
And none of us
I
do.
didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I never realized it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, because as a child, as a weak, vulnerable, controlled child, you don't have a choice.
Well, and those are, it's not even only childhood, but even some, teachers or early employers, when we're at such young, impressionable, invulnerable years of our lives that form the ideas of what that relationship is, and we do not know any better until we get sick, or we're so stressed and we think we have to go to a therapist, and because we don't know how to handle this situation. And so when you have the tools, you can call up the tools to use. And not only that, what's really great about having the tools, that we teach here, that we offer here. And we're going to think of one tool that you want to share today. I can think of one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, we have several. What's really great about it is that it improves your self-esteem, your self-confidence every time you take that step. And also, it also helps you to change your beliefs, because beliefs are just a thought that you think over and over and over again. So when you become aware of what you're thinking, and so Scott could say, oh my God, like, I've been letting them do this. Okay.
And that thought doesn't feel very good.
And so then he's going to say, stop it, stop it. And then you
change it.
Yes. And so I was going to say, then you take charge.
Then you change it.
And Deanna, you did this the other day, and I didn't say anything about this, but we were going to get on a Zoom call where we were coaching someone. And I had the thought before we got on the coaching call to message Deanna and say, you're going to be there 15 minutes before so that we can, discuss what our plan is for the day.
Set our intention for the meeting.
Set the intention for the meeting. And you had messaged me and said, it was really direct what you said. It was like, we're meeting at 10:45 and this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, good for you. I was so happy that you had done that, because I had been thinking, are we going to? No, you set the intention, and you did it, and you communicated that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was
I remember it was very empowering.
Powerful. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it was empowering for me.
Yeah.
And even just this morning when I had thought about this situation a week ago, I didn't have the clarification that I did today. So after the epiphany, the clarification within my entire being, my thoughts and how I was feeling in my fourth energy center, I felt like there was no other way, but this was the only way. This was the only way this was the only path to go. And there was no fear that was coming up, and I could feel it. It felt very empowered. So last week I was going the old path. So I chose the new empowered path this morning because it felt so right. And that's the importance, is really getting into how your body feels. When you have a thought, bring it in, go into your body and see how that feels. So that's the one tool. Is once you start becoming aware of your thoughts, you have a thought and you go, how does that thought feel? How does that thought feel?
Right. But even, I have a specific example that I can talk about that, because we had a communication from someone, and my initial reaction to the communication, Deanna and I were talking about it. We were discussing it as I was reading this piece of communication. And my first reaction, which I verbalized to Deanna, was fight or flight. Mm-hmm. And I chose the flight. Mm-hmm. And that I've always done that. Mm-hmm. So I realized afterwards, after we hung up the phone and I was going over it in my thoughts, and then it came to me, because I've been changing my thoughts, it came to me, Deborah, you just reacted in an old behavioral pattern. Okay. So as much as I have been working on changing those behavioral patterns, they sneak in there. That you're going to, and what I'm getting a vision of is a plant. When you plant the seed, the plant starts growing, and then it starts blossoming, and then this weed comes in, right? The weed
and
comes in.
And tries to crowd the space.
And tries to,
get rid of the weed.
Take over again.
Yeah.
And then you don't allow it.
That's so great, especially this time of year when you see all the new plants coming in. Yeah. I mean, everything's relatable.
It is.
Everything's relatable. Yeah. And I just in nature and how it how reality can mimic nature. Yes.
If we allow it.
Yes.
And are aware of it. So even, the epiphanies that we've both had come, a week after the period of resurrection that we just went through, which even if you're not a Christian, the whole Easter thing brings to us into the awareness of all of the resurrecting that's going on. Everything's coming to life. And it's such a beautiful time of the year. So when you're in tune with what's going on in nature. And spiritually, you can relate all that. And then you see it when it actually happens in your life because you've been able to step outside yourself and be the observer.
Yes.
You know, and even though my goal is to be the observer at all the times,
but it's a process.
Yes,
and it takes, you know,
it takes time.
You know, the engine, you know, starts slowly.
Yeah, because we're going to react to things. Now, whether or not we let that reaction come out, that I think that the response time to the reaction starts lessening and lessening and lessening the more you do the daily work.
And so this is tool number 2. So when you have a thought, measure it, how it feels in your body.
Yeah.
Or if you have a reaction, how does that feel in your body? So that didn't feel too good. Your fight or flight response.
Oh my gosh.
It felt horrible.
Well, it did. And it was too familiar for me because I lived my life like that for so long.
So once you become aware of it, then you take 2 in your mind. You relive the moment and you respond rather than react in your mind. And you see it playing out and you can feel it in your body. Oh, this feels better. This feels better if I respond in this way. Next time I'm going to respond in this way. And so you're imprinting your logical thought process. You're in the front part of your brain,
cortex,
the prefrontal cortex. And then the next time it comes up, then you'll recognize it in the moment and you'll respond rather than react. But it takes a lot of awareness.
Yeah. And you have to pay attention. So for me, I get like this really intense feeling all through here. And so, you know, some people, their heart may start beating fast, or you may get a feeling in your solar plexus. And just to be aware of that. And you're like, okay, that's my body, my barometer is indicating to me that there's something that's off right here, right now. And so take a deep breath, Deborah, you know, take a deep breath.
And the reason for that is because our souls are anchored in our body. So our soul connected to the higher power, God, universe, whatever name you have it, wants only the best for us, wants only the best, but we have free will and we're in the driver's seat. And so it's the best barometer ever because it only wants the best for you. So your soul is talking to you when your body speaks to you. That's your soul.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where we're going to leave you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think that, you know, we covered so much today and there's a lot for you to think about. Please, if you would, put it in the comments. Tell us what you're going through. You know, give us a little bit of feedback so that we know that we're on the right track. And we want to give you more and more.
Yeah. And you can start using these tools immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
So become aware of your thoughts. Does it feel good or does it not feel good? Was that a response or was it a reaction?
And what am I doing?
What am I doing?
Am I changing it? Did I respond in the same way and then I felt bad afterwards for a couple of days?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like tell us how it's going.
Yeah. And you'll see the growth instantaneously. And we wish we're here for you.
Yes. And so thank you so much for being here today. We love being here with you and we'll look forward to the next talk we have.
And if you really liked what you heard here today and want to share it with somebody that you know that might be willing and open to hear this information as well, share it with them, subscribe to our channel that helps get the message out there to more people, and hit the notifications and put them on all notifications so that you know when we come out with the next podcast. Thanks so much for visiting us here at Twin Talks. We are so happy to be here and we're so happy to have you here with us.
Bye.
Bye.